So you guys wanted my opinion on the Freedom Phone. Apparently when I was on vacation, the internet started losing its mind about this thing. So yeah, let's get into it. All you really need to do to figure out what this phone is about is go to the first page of their website, freedomphone.com, and you see we have an animation of Old Glory here, and in big, bold, white letters, it says Freedom Phone, completely uncensored. And to give you a little bit of background, the creation of this phone was actually inspired by the shenanigans that took place over the past maybe 2 years in burger politics. So, you know, all of those anomalies that happened with the election, and then the QAnon shaman friends went and stormed the Capitol because they really wanted to use Nancy Pelosi's phone to make a call to the base department. But there's just one problem with that. You see, feds are cringe, and so are Fed phones, and you can't call the base department with them because the base department blocks cringe numbers. Now, after that was all over, Google and Apple both decided to ban the Parler app from their app stores, which is basically just conservative Twitter, because I guess that's where a lot of these people met up at. And so that's when the big tech exodus really kicked off. And this guy, Eric Finman, created the Freedom Phone that would be uncensorable and respect your privacy. So let's see what this Bitcoin millionaire has done as far as developing a phone. But pretty much I'll just give you the TLDR right now. It's a marked up China phone with a de-Googled Android ROM installed on it. Now, de-Googling an Android ROM does not equal creating your own operating system, but that's exactly what they're claiming down here. They say that they have a free speech first operating system called Freedom OS. We've developed the first mass marketable mobile phone operating system based on free speech. But they didn't do that. This is still Android. It's not like they created something other than Android or iOS or even, Linux on the phone with what the Pine phone is doing now. It's literally just Android with all of the stock Google stuff removed. Okay, this is stupider than the kids who go install Arch Linux and then rice their desktop and say, "Look, mommy, I made my own operating system. I'm a hacker man." It's not rocket science to de-Google Android. In fact, there's ROMs that are already de-Googled for you. So this guy probably just added like some branding and skins to one of those and then called it his own. I mean, I don't even tell people that I created my own OS, and I run Gentoo with a custom kernel. Now, honestly, I honestly hope that Freedom OS really is just something like Lineage OS with like some conservative social media pre-installed. Because like you can see, they got Rumble and News Max and Parler and I don't even know what this is. And DuckDuckGo. I really hope that that's what Freedom OS actually is, because if this guy actually did go and create his own mobile operating system, or try to create his own mobile OS with the Android kernel, it's probably going to get absolutely butt-fucked by exploits. Okay, Eric Finman, he doesn't really have a tech background at all. His parents basically just gave him $1,000 back when he was a teenager and Bitcoin wasn't worth that much, and he bought like 40 of them, and now he's rich, which is great. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really good. It's a really good investment move, but it doesn't really qualify him to build a secure private mobile operating system. Now let's go take a look at the specs. Okay, so this is the spec sheet for Freedom Phone, which apparently they were hiding for a little while. Apparently they didn't even add this until like last Monday or something like that, because they were trying to keep it under wraps, I suppose. So they want $500 for this, all right? Keep that in mind as we look through these specifications. So OS, Freedom OS, whatever. Cameras, so front is 8 megapixel, rear is 13, and then there's also a 2 and a 2. I think that's what it means. So 3 cameras on the back, and none of them are really that impressive. But then again, $500 isn't like flagship price anyway. Display water drop, so yeah, it doesn't have giant bezels, although by today's standards, these are pretty big bezels. We have the display resolution, so it's not even full HD. CPU, they omit the kind of CPU. They're not telling us, like whether it's a Snapdragon or a Xenos or, which version of it is. All we know is that it's 1.8 gigahertz and 8 cores, which is kind of low. I'm pretty sure that a lot of phones these days are at least 2 gigahertz. RAM, only 4 gigs, so that's pretty low. Storage is only 64 gigs. That's really low. They also don't tell us what kind of storage it is, which version, so that we can kind of figure out how fast it is. And then, we've got standard Wi-Fi, we've got 3G and 4G, no 5G, because of course that turns the frickin' frogs gay. Expandable storage up to 256 gigabytes. So I don't really understand why they don't support 1 terabyte SD cards. Like, we've had those for a little while now. Most other phones that have expandable storage support up to 1 terabyte, but okay, 256 gigs. So not really a whole lot of storage in total that you can get. Let's see, single speakers, single microphone, NFC, no wireless charging, no quick charging, dual SIM tray. It does have a headphone jack, so there you go. That's pretty good. A lot of other companies aren't doing headphone jacks anymore. And then USB-C. So you're paying $500 for this. And this hardware is absolutely not worth $500. Like, this is really low spec stuff. This is kind of the same criticisms that I would make about like the Librem 5 or the Pine phone, but at least those phones have some gimmicks that are worth something. Like the Pine phone, it's a literal Linux phone and not Android. And then the Librem 5, at least the USA edition, is actually made completely in America. So exactly what does give the Freedom Phone its worth? What gives it its value? And then how much is the hardware for the Freedom Phone actually worth? Well, it's worth about $139. So this is the same exact phone, the Umiji, not really sure how you pronounce it, A9 Pro smartphone. It's got the exact same hardware, same camera. Like, this is literally the same phone as the Freedom Phone. It's just reskinned. And it sells on eBay for $139.99 new. So if you buy the Freedom Phone, you're paying 3 times the price of the hardware. The software is also free. It's an Android ROM, so you can't really say that you're paying for that either. All of the conservative social media that they have installed here, Parler, and then like Telegram. I mean, I wouldn't really consider that a conservative thing, but Telegram, Newsmax, Signal, Brave, these are all free apps that they're just installing for you. And even if you're like, oh, but those are blocked in the App Store, you can sideload apps on Android. That has always been a thing. You can just go to like Parler or Rumble and then download their APK and then install it that way. Yeah. And despite how pro-America this phone is, it's still made in
China. 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 China.
Ah, yes, selling patriotic goods made in China to low IQ Americans. It really doesn't get any more capitalist than that. Now, you're probably wondering, why is there so much hype around this phone when it's obviously garbage and really kind of a scam? Well, because the conservative talking heads told their mindless drones to buy it for a 10% base commission. Like, for example, let's take a look at Candace Owens revealing the Freedom Phone, not controlled by Apple or Google.
Ever once. Think about how big this is. Pitched a product at you. Never. Not once. I have sponsors coming to me all the time. I don't pitch any products. I'm not here to be an Instagram celebrity and be like, oh my God, let me get you tummy tea. If it does not help save the nation, I don't pitch it. Okay? So I'm serious when I'm telling you to stop everything that you are doing, and I'm holding in my hand, literally, a smartphone that is not controlled by Apple or Google. Okay? So think about this. This is like how I'm let me just open it and not put my passcode on the freaking internet so that, I'm not one of those idiots. So this is called the Freedom Phone. If you use my code Candace, you can get 10% off. You go to freedomphone.com. Look at this. It's an actual smartphone. You're going, that looks like an Android. That's because it is an Android.
There you go. That's why people are buying this, because the based black lady, based black conservative lady told me to buy the phone, so I'm going to buy it and I'm going to like and subscribe and share with all of my friends on Parler. That's why so many people are buying this thing. And there's many other such examples. I just used Candace Owens because that was the easiest one to find. So yeah, here's the thing. If you want an actual private phone, you need to into technology, because even if this was a legit phone like the Librem 5, the people that are dumb enough to buy this phone are not going to be practicing good OPSEC, okay? And big tech is still going to be able to track you through all of those mistakes that you make, especially if you become a person of interest. So yeah, if you want an actual private phone, buy something like a OnePlus or a Pixel phone for cash, root it, and then install a custom ROM on it. Go with Graphene if you get the Pixel, because that's pretty much the only hardware that supports Graphene OS, or Lineage OS if it's just about any other Android phone, and you'll get way better hardware for your money and an actual private phone.